What is going on, everybody? How are you doing on this Thirsty Thursday, the last Thursday of the month of May? This month flew by. I know there's still a few days left here, but we're coming up on a holiday weekend, Memorial Day, and I know we'll be remembering our veterans and remembering the fallen, those who allow us to do what we do every day, just like this, sitting here having a few drinks and enjoying some time with friends. So I hope everybody has plans for Memorial Day weekend. It's definitely have to remember the reason for the holiday. So let me see who's in the room here tonight. I know there's already some chat going on. Gringo Pines, first question. First comment. I've never tried Jefferson's. What is it closest to? Well, funny story about Jefferson's. It was the very, very first bottle of bourbon that I ever purchased. It's not a real expensive bottle, but it's a good bottle, I think. And it probably is closest to, I know that some of you may not want to hear me say this, but probably closest to Buffalo Trace. Because Buffalo Trace, I feel like, is a good beginner bourbon. I don't know anybody that started drinking bourbon and liked it right off the bat. It definitely takes some time to get used to. But we're going to pour Jefferson's tonight. It's a fairly low proof. It's 82.3 proof. So it's a good starter bourbon for those of you who aren't into bourbon or don't drink bourbon very often. It's kind of a lower proof bourbon. It's an easy drinker for bourbon. And that was the first bottle I got, and I liked it, and it's been a while. So a buddy of mine asked me what I wanted. He wanted to get me a gift, so he asked me what kind of bourbon. I figured I'd try Jefferson's again for another round and to see how my taste has changed. So we'll sip on that here, and we'll sip on that right now. Cheers to all the servicemen and women of our country, and this is for you on this Memorial Day weekend. Cheers. Just like I remember, a very, very easy drinker. Let's see, who else is in here? Andy's in here. How are you? We mentioned Gringo Pines outside of Michigan's here. Dean, if I hadn't told you yet, I got your sticker, my friend. That's Dean's sticker. I'm not sure if I showed that on the channel yet or not, but I've got it sitting here still to put on the splitter, so I appreciate you sending that to me, Dean. That's a good-looking sticker, my friend. Hello from Towson, from Don Chris 2012. Towson, Maryland. That's just down the road, 30 or 40 minutes. So I don't know if that's the Towson you're speaking of, but that's not far away from me at all. Michelle here, SS Firewood is here. Tim Stout is here. Dave Edwards, I see. Senior Firewood Homestead, Larry Hoddle. How are you, my friend? Who else is in here tonight? BNF Firewood, BNF Outdoors. He says hello to everyone. There's Dick, Old Guy Firewood. Funny, you both are here right off the bat in the chat tonight, because I got Dick's sticker too. Another good-looking one, Old Guy Firewood. He wrote down, "Hey Brad, I've enclosed a couple of Old Guy Firewood stickers. I hope you can use them. Love your channel and really appreciate your encouragement getting me started. Keep moving." That's what he says at the end of all his videos, is keep moving. And he says, if you have a sticker to share, I'd love to have one. And I've definitely got some stickers coming your way, my friend. He's doing a great job on his channel. I know you all watch him. I had suggested to him when he was talking about stickers a while back that maybe when he was looking for ideas to design his sticker, and I said he ought to get an old guy with a cane in one hand and a chainsaw in the other hand. So that would have been pretty funny, but he said he wanted to keep his sticker simple and easy to read, and I think it looks great. There it is again for those of you who might not have saw it the first time. Who else we got in here? Renee's in here. Howdy, everyone. What a beautiful day. It's been pretty nice around here in Maryland, but it's we got some drizzling rain going on. It's supposed to be cloudy all day tomorrow here with some afternoon rain and thunderstorms. Who else we got? Red Pool, Steven Stewart. And there's Joe's Firewood videos, Joe Barney. He's hollering, let's go blue. Taylor will be out here shortly, Joe. She's just getting home from softball practice, so she had to jump in the shower real quick and get herself cleaned up. So she said she'll be out here when she's done, so it shouldn't be too much longer. She'll join us and help keep me in line as usual. Keep up with the questions. Heinz's Backyard Adventures, how are you? Steven Stewart says the old beard boy doesn't mess around when he does stuff. That's a nice banner. Yeah. So I got this a couple months ago, I guess. I decided I needed some kind of backdrop because I do these live streams out here in the garage. And I was hoping maybe this month we could get outside and sit around the fire, but the weather's not cooperating tonight. So maybe next month we'll be able to be outside and have some fire, a little bonfire and some drinks around the fire with you all. But yeah, I think the banner turned out good. It's a nice little backdrop for the live stream. And speaking of banners, I got another one that I had made up that I'm going to show you in a little bit. Oh, who else? Matt Weimer's here. How are you doing, Matt? I'm way behind on the chat here, so I'm trying to catch up real quick. We got 51 people in here now, so people are still joining in. Wolf Ridge Creek Homestead. Good night, Brad. First time I've been able to catch a live. Well, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you could be here tonight. First time here. Cheers to you. Thanks for joining us. Todd's outside again, Mr. Todd Lacey. I won't crack any jokes on Todd just yet. I'm sure they'll be coming later on. Yeah, so if you guys didn't see Joe Barney's video that he put out today, Joe's Firewood videos, he put out a video about what inflation is doing to firewood sales. And it was kind of funny that he put that video out today because I delivered 12 bundles to a customer about 6 miles away this afternoon. And I was thinking to myself, bundle sales kind of started pretty quick about a month ago. I probably sold, I don't remember how many, it was probably 50 or 60 bundles there in a couple week period. And then it got cold again. And now it's getting nice and it's Memorial Day weekend, should be a busy time. And I actually put a post up on my Facebook page, the Firewood at the Furnace Facebook page, either yesterday or the day before, reminding people to get their firewood for this weekend. And I've only sold 12 bundles since then. So I think Joe might have been onto something with his video today. And I think, the first thing that people do when money starts getting tight, because groceries are high, gas is high, lumber's high, everything is getting more and more expensive. And the first thing people cut out is entertainment. And I guess campfire wood could be considered entertainment in some scenarios in the summertime. In the wintertime, it's a necessity, but in the summertime, it's kind of a luxury. So, last year and the year before, during the COVID pandemic, everybody was staying home, but everybody was still getting paid and prices were still reasonable. So people were buying firewood because they were staying home and sales were really booming. But now that the price of everything's getting so high, I think, if people are cutting back, that might be one of the things that they start to cut back on. So I know Joe asked everybody to put it in the comments of his video today, but I'm kind of curious as well as to how everybody else's wood sales are going. Because mine are, I wouldn't say mine are slow, but mine are not going the way up to par for what I would expect for this holiday weekend coming up. Okay, I hope I'm not missing any questions here. It's been cloudy and cold this week, Richard says. Joe likes the backdrop. William Klein, how are you tonight? He said he cut a few cords the other day. TC's Outdoors is here. Dale Steffen is here. Here's a question. How's the skid steer Is all the controls working well? The skid steer is doing good. I do have a slight exhaust leak. I can't figure out where it's coming from, but when it's cold, you can really hear the leak. But once it warms up, it goes away. So it must be a small leak somewhere. I'm going to have to take some time and try to dig into that a little bit and figure it out. I'm starting to get a little more proficient with the grapple. It's definitely a tool in the yard that I'm enjoying. If you saw yesterday's video, I was using the grapple to kind of hold some logs up, and when I was bucking them up out of that pile of ash. And I didn't switch to the forks yet, but I think the next time that I do that, I'm going to switch to the forks and see if I like cutting off the forks better than off the grapple. And weigh that out. But I'll do a video on that, and I'll tell you what I think and what I like about it and what I don't like about it. William wants to know how my stand is selling. So my stand, while we're on that topic, I'll get into this other thing I want to show you. So my stand is not out by the roadside. I built that stand because I'm out of town on a lot of weekends with the kids and their travel ball tournaments. So I have customers, regular customers that know me and I know them, that they'll call me like the day they need the wood and say, hey, can I stop by and grab some bundles? And if I'm out of town or out of state, it really bothers me to tell them that I'm not around to help them out. So what I built that little stand for was so I can put some out on the weekends and tell them where to go get them. And I did put a little ammo can, 30 caliber ammo can on the side of the little stand that I built for people to leave their money. But that's kind of to help me avoid losing sales from regular customers. I haven't convinced myself yet to put it on the roadside. It's just a golden opportunity for theft, and I'm not sure if I want to cross that bridge. I've got pretty good customer base that, keep this little hobby thing going for me. So I don't know. We'll see. Now that it's built, I may change my mind on that at some point. And while we're talking about that, I'll show you what I wanted to. Actually, this is going to make you all think that my mind is leading towards putting it on the road. But you all were talking about my banner earlier, and I just had this banner made. You all can tell me what you think about that. I'll hold it up here for a second so you all can read it. But I figured this is just the right size to hang across the front of the little bundle stand that I made. And I even had the Venmo QR code printed on the bottom of the banner, so if they don't have cash with them, they can just scan the code and Venmo me the money. So let me know what you all think about that banner and how that might work out. I don't know. I just was playing online the other night and figured I might give it a shot. So when I get caught up on the comments here, I'll call some of your opinions out on the banner. All right, where are we at here? All right, there's the skid loader question, the stand question. See, this is why I need Taylor out here. J. Dubbink 98. I can't tell if my sales are slower because of the inflation pressures you mentioned, or if it's all the rain we've had lately. Yeah, weather definitely plays a role in it. And Jeff says he hasn't sold anything in 2 weeks. Michelle's a third cord ahead of this time last year, and William Klein has 5 full cord orders. Well, I don't know how that works, William. I don't know if that's busier or slower than normal, but that sounds like a really good start to the season. Todd Lacey says that Evans sales are down overall this year. People can barely keep their gas tanks full, let alone buy bundles. And I think I totally agree with that, Todd. I mean, I've never really, the gasoline prices and the diesel fuel prices, when they go up and down, 30, 40, 50, 60, even 60 cents, it doesn't really I don't think about it too much. It's not a big deal to me. But the way the prices have gotten now, like, it hurts. I mean, it really does hurt. You put $100 worth of fuel in the truck and you don't have a full tank and the pump shuts off. It's, you take it and go. I used to always tell my wife that if you're going to stop for gas and put it in your car, you might as well fill the tank. Otherwise, you're going to have to stop and get it again sooner anyway. But with the prices of fuel now, you put $100 in it and go. And I've really been thinking twice about, when I'm using my truck and where I'm driving my truck. We've got a little Honda Civic that we use kind of for our beater car out here. It's an older one, and I've even thought about beating around in that a little bit rather than driving the truck because it only gets about 10 or 12 miles to the gallon. Joe says he bought winter wood from Nate today, and he's had $0 in sales this week. Hey, there's Shive, first super chat of the night. What's up, fellas? It's Thirsty Thursday. Yes, sir. Glad to see you, Dom. Cheers, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Logan said he got a 5-face cord order today, and here comes my lovely daughter, Taylor. She's going to join. You're going to have to get your computer logged in there. I didn't get it set up yet. But you can slide on in over here. Joe's here. He's yelling "Go Blue" already. So I'm sure he'll be wanting you to give a shout out here at some point. Andy said he just put his stand back up on Sunday and he sold $54 since. So today's Thursday, so that's not too bad. $54 in 4 days from a roadside stand. 2.5 to 3 inches of rain on the way tomorrow night from Tim. Joe likes the new sign. TC's Outdoors likes the banner. Oh, y'all like it. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I hope it works out. So I'm way behind on the chat, Tay. Need you to help me get caught up here. Okay. I'm not being sarcastic, but people buy firewood in the summer. Bundles I get, but cords. So, yeah, I like to sell bundles in the summertime, and I think it's a convenience thing for people, especially when they're going camping. But actually, the customer that I delivered those 12 bundles to today, he uses the bundles to go camping with, but he has a large fire pit in his backyard too, and he was actually asking me about buying some of my offcuts and chunks and, just the stuff, the trashy stuff that I put in the IBC totes. And I told him that, I would sell him a whole IBC tote for $50, and I have a way to load the whole tote in my trailer. I just need a way to unload it. So what he said he was going to do is just bring his trailer to the yard, and I could just load the tote right on his trailer. So people that burn a lot in their backyards, I think, will buy face cords, thirds of cords, and then there's some people that even buy their winter wood ahead of time. And I think the reason people do that is so that they know that it's at least drying throughout the summer, rather than ordering it when the weather gets cold and wondering if it was just cut last week. So if they order it now, then at least they know it's got a good 6 months at least to sit and dry at least a little bit. All right. Senior Firewood Homestead, Larry Hoddle with a super chat. Cheers, everyone. Thank you. Appreciate that, Larry. Smash that like button. 66 watching, and he was the 14th like. So, yeah, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button for me. It helps out the channel a little bit. Stephen Stewart says his brother-in-law had the catalytic converter and 75 gallons of gas stolen from his motorhome. It's horrible. Catalytic converters, we've had those kind of thefts around here as well. A lot of the car repair shops have been getting hit. It takes a lot of nerve for somebody to take a Sawzall, climb underneath a car, and, cut something off with the chance of getting caught. But I guess people are desperate, and it's a shame. It really is a shame. Michelle says hello to Taylor. Hi. Wade King says hello, officer. Former officer.
We have a super chat from Joe. Down there more.
Okay, I'm going to get there in just a second. Shive says he sold 3 bins, 1 rack, and 4 bundles last week. So far, 1 bin this week. So that sounds like he's doing okay. Backyard Firewood had 4 deliveries last Saturday for a cord and some change, and now they're getting rain. Cord orders do happen during summer from the smart people that want to buy early, and I've had a few cord orders of pine for campfires. Yep. So I think we're kind of on the same page there, Jeff. David Edwards says, "Good evening, Taylor. I hope you keep your dad straight." Getting there, Pat F is here. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Brad just bought a Wallenstein WP840. We do approximately, I think part of his message got cut off there. Hey, there's a super chat from Joe. Taylor, how does it feel to have a world-famous YouTuber dad? Do you want to be a YouTuber when you grow up?
So when I get older, I want to be a teacher, and I do want to start like a teaching channel, like how some teachers vlog and like a day in their life. So yeah.
So she follows a lot of YouTubers that are school teachers, and she's my sister actually. My youngest sister is a school teacher, and every year before school starts, she goes with her to help organize her classroom, decorate the classroom. She's very organized herself. Straight A student, National Junior Honor Society. There's no doubt in my mind she will be a teacher, and she'll be a good teacher. So, yeah, you'll probably see her on YouTube one day, talking about her classroom and what she does to organize her classroom. And Joe has a hashtag at the end for you to yell.
Go blue.
Tim says the smart people order their wood ahead of time. He doesn't have any of those customers. William Klein says he has a customer that burns a face cord a month in his fire pit. He has a lot of fires. He must really enjoy sitting out around a fire. I do too. I just don't have the time to do it as much as I want to. What's in the glass tonight? I missed the beginning. I was out looking at some free Firewood sweet gum. You don't want sweet gum. Stop right there, Todd. I've mentioned that on the channel before. Sweet gum is, it doesn't burn bad once it dries, but it's the worst wood I've ever split in my life. It's very intertangled grain, does not split nice, it's just a mess. But what I'm drinking tonight is Jefferson's. It's a low proof bourbon, it's only 82.3. It says it's very small batch, a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys. So it's not a single barrel whiskey. They take it out of a few different barrels and blend it. But this was the first, I mentioned it earlier, this is the first bourbon I ever purchased. And I enjoyed it. And even though it's a lower proof, and I've graduated to the higher proof whiskeys, I'm still enjoying this. It's still really good on as far as my taste goes. Yep, Todd said he throws the sweet gum in the ditch. All right, I think we are all caught up on the chat. Yep. So I just showed him the banner that I got for the Firewood stand.
Oh, okay.
And I guess everybody likes it, but I actually was worried that when the banner came in, that the Venmo code that they printed on it was not going to work. But that was the first thing I did. As soon as it got here, I opened it up and tried to scan the code with my own phone, and it worked. So if anybody wants to do that, it does work. Matt Weimer says hi to you, Taylor.
Hi. Did you tell them that I'm going to be painting the Firewood stand?
Yes, Taylor will be. So if you saw the video when I built the stand, I had asked you all if I should paint it or not. I wasn't sure if it was going to be worth the effort and the time to do that. But Taylor has offered to paint it. Several people said that we should paint it the same color scheme as the skid loader.
Yeah.
So I was thinking red and black, but the red and gray might work too.
Yeah, I think we should do the gray. That way it kind of matches with it.
So Taylor will be painting the Firewood stand, and now with the banner and everything else, it's become a much more involved project than just a something to put some bundles in on the weekend for my friends. So I don't know. That thing may end up at the side of the road. Oh, super chat from Backyard Firewood. Hazard pay for Taylor babysitting dad. Well, I don't think I'm going to be babysat too much tonight.
I mean, you just said babysitting.
Yeah, I used the wrong word. At first, I thought that was a nude dude on the back label of the bourbon. Yeah, it's Jefferson. I'll turn it around the back so you can see it a little better. But I guess you're supposed to see it through the bottle. Thomas Jefferson, I guess. Red and gray are pretty colors, Michelle says. Do we want the Firewood stand to be pretty?
Yeah.
All right. Red and gray it is, Michelle. Have you ever drank Evan Williams? Yes, I have. I don't mind Evan Williams. It's not one of my favorites, but it's not bad. Several of my friends that are into bourbon, they do like Evan Williams. It's hot in here tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I brought a blanket out thinking it was going to be cold. But
So, let me see here. We just missed something. This chat's all over the place.
yeah.
So are you going to the Frenzy? I'm not able to go to the Firewood Frenzy because this is a softball player and my son's a baseball player, and we roll every single weekend this time of year. June 11th is the Firewood Frenzy. I really wish I could go to meet a lot of you. I am planning on getting to the Paul Bunyan show in Ohio. That's not as far of a journey for me. So if any of you are going to be there, I would love to meet some of you. But I hope you all have great weather at the Firewood Frenzy this year. And I'll be on the live stream watching you all have a great time. Wishing I was there. Is that a $40 bottle, Brad? Yeah, it's not an expensive bottle at all. I think $40 is right about the price point. Michelle's going to be at the Firewood Frenzy. So you all will be able to meet her and try to figure out how she works so hard and get. Did you see the picture she put up the other day of her woodshed with all them bundles in there? Michelle, how many bundles do you think are in that shed on that picture that you put up the other day? That was a bunch of bundles. Don said he brought back some moonshine last week from Gatlinburg. Yeah, you can get some good moonshine if you know the right people. The moonshine that they sell in the stores is not the same thing. Old guy Firewood, Dick, he's going to try for Paul Bunyan. That would be great. I know that's not one of the events that a lot of the YouTubers go to, but I think Shibe and Dan from Back 40 might be trying to get a booth there for the YouTubers to kind of gather and socialize to meet each other. So that would be pretty cool if that works out. Woodridge Creek Homestead says we should have a Maryland Firewood Frenzy. There's at least 12 of us. I really want to have an East Coast Firewood Frenzy, and Shibe has talked about that. Chuck from Iron and Oak Sawmill has talked about that. And the hang-up is a venue. We've got to find a venue, and if we can find a venue between all of us, I think we can definitely put that in motion. Who said that about the Maryland Firewood? Woodridge Creek Homestead. So if you have any ideas for a venue, let me know or let Shibe know, and we will certainly follow up on that to try to make that happen, because it's really, really hard for a lot of us to get out to Wisconsin. So that stand will look two-tone gray to me, Pat says. William Klein says he's going to be there at the Frenzy. Hey, Will Davidson, WD30's here. Glad to see you tonight. I was wondering if you were going to be able to make it this month. Glad to see your daughter's getting involved. What's the going rate for kids to babysit their parent? Asking for a friend. She does take good care of me.
My phone bill, basically.
Yeah, her phone bill, yep. She helps out at the wood yard. She helps out around the house, She helps her mother with the laundry and things like that. Otherwise, she doesn't get to keep her phone
that month.
That month, yeah. Nothing's free in this world. You gotta work, and it makes you appreciate what you have, right?
Yep.
Hardwood hunter. Didn't think I would be able to make it, but I found a half hour to stop in. Well, I'm glad you're here, my friend. I hope you enjoy yourself while you're here. Jump in the chat. Talk to some of these people that are in here. 74 in here watching now. So jump in the chat. Have some conversation. Have a couple drinks if you can. Don says that frickin' Jeep has a booth for the Paul Bunyan show. Well, I didn't know that. I'm glad you told me that. That's awesome to know. I'm going to have to get in touch with him and see what the deal is with that and where he's at, because I definitely want to touch base with him as well. Did I miss Michelle's answer to my question? 1,200 bundles in that woodshed. 1,200 bundles. That's a lot of work, and I'm sure you'll sell them all. That's a working lady there, that's for sure. Will Davidson wants to know how softball's been, Taylor. She just had practice tonight.
Yeah.
Tell him how it's going.
It's going good. I'm on the 16U. We had our first practice by ourselves tonight, but we've been practicing with the 18U. Our first tournament is next weekend.
Yep, Brady's tournaments have been going on the past several weekends, and Taylor's tournaments are going to be starting up now because high school softball is coming to a conclusion. So travel softball for that age group is getting started. Dick from Old Guy Firewood said he wishes he was going. He would be the oldest one to cannonball in Dan's pool. That would be funny. John Collins says to try a fairgrounds somewhere around the area you want. Don't know how they charge, but look into it. Yeah, so fairgrounds is a good idea. There's a couple fire departments, volunteer fire departments around here that might be a good idea. I think the hang-ups, and we can learn a lot from Dan over at Back 40 about what he's trying to make happen, is, we would be bringing in equipment like, log splitters, processors, chainsaws. People might be running chainsaws and log splitters, so what's the liability with that? Alcohol, if we're going to have alcohol, acquiring the correct permits to do all that. So there's a lot of logistics involved, and I really don't have all the answers to that. So I'm not sure if the fairgrounds would allow that kind of stuff. But we're definitely going to look into it. It won't be this year, but if we can find a venue, I know Shibe is hot to trot on it, and so am I. So it keeps coming up, and we keep talking about it, but the wheels are kind of spinning right now. So I hope we get some traction soon. Getting there with Pat F says his problem is getting the wood and keeping it. He had a half a cord stolen last month. Wow, a half a cord. Somebody must have been there for a little while loading all that up. I don't know if you have cameras or lights or anything like that, but somebody's got to be sitting there for, even if they have a couple hands throwing it in a truck, they're going to be there for quite a few minutes. Joe says, make sure you all check out his new video today. He rants about the gas prices and inflation. Yep, I mentioned that earlier. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how this summer goes and how many people are going to be burning recreationally, either more or less or the same as usual. William says, I need to split eucalyptus. I've never split that and never had any of that. I assume that that's a hard wood to split compared to like sweet gum that we were talking about earlier. So I can't imagine much being worse than sweet gum, but eucalyptus, has anybody ever done that? There's Bill Irwin saying hello to Mom and the boys. How are you all doing tonight? He said, Pat says they stole pine. William says it's very, very hard. Joe's not going to the Firewood Frenzy, but he might go next year. So I'm curious, Pat, as to how where you have your wood. I don't think I've seen on your videos. I've seen you splitting your wood in the backyard there, but I'm not sure I remember seeing where you have your wood set out for sale. I'm pretty sure your yard is fenced in there. So I don't know if you have a roadside stand or you stack it up somewhere where it's easy to get to from the road, but that's my big fear about putting a roadside stand out, as you all know, is theft. Firewood is a lot of work, and I would rather miss a couple sales and have somebody steal from me. I'm not sure how I would react to a theft, especially if I found out who it was. You all know what I did for a living and what I did for my career. So I have a natural instinct to get the bad guy, and I'm not.
Especially if it's at Mom's house too.
Yep. Yeah. So I wouldn't take too kindly to that. I would rather just maybe miss a couple sales rather than have to deal with that. Porter's Adventures, how you doing, buddy? Haven't talked to you in a while. He says, hello, tuned in last night and had the wrong day. Hope all is well up there in Northeast. Yeah, haven't talked to you in a while. Hope everything's going good with you. Yeah, send me a message. Let me know. Let's catch up and see how you're doing. Maybe take a ride on the bikes now that the weather's getting a little better. Yeah, Chris does have videos from In the Woodyard has videos on thieves. I know he's put down some boards with nails in them and things like that. I think he's never. I don't know if he's ever caught the guys, but he's definitely cost the guys some money with their tires. Dean, you're right. Criminals are not smart people. WD-30, Brad, when do we get to see the painted shack? I'm so curious, and I did jump when you tripped at the end of the last video. Oh, I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to paint the shack because I had big plans to do that, and then as I got involved with restoring the skid loader, getting that painted up and cleaned up, then getting the pallet skidder shack built, I was really kind of neglecting splitting and stacking all that wood that was piling up in the yard. So I had to kind of shift gears and get back over to the wood pile, and I kind of put that off. So Taylor's going to be right back. Okay. But I still do want to get that painted, and it's kind of just on the back burner right now. And I'm glad you enjoyed me tripping at the end of the last video. If you guys didn't see that yesterday, you had to watch it all the way to the end, but I put in a little blooper there at the end, and yeah, that could have been bad. I broke my sunglasses. I don't know if you saw that in the video, but when my sunglasses fell off my hat, one of the earpieces on the side broke off. So I'm down a pair of sunglasses now. Pat says no stand. It was just taken out of his driveway. Each piece passed his truck. Brave people. Brave people. Mark says, Brad, most of the times you will make more than you actually sell. Old guy Firewood got the days mixed up too. Come on, it's Thirsty Thursdays, not Thirsty Wednesdays. Taylor's got scrambled eggs and French toast she brought out here to eat. Having breakfast for dinner. Yep. All right. Joe said his self-serve stand is in the middle of his driveway. Yep. Yeah, you actually have to turn down his driveway and come down with, a pretty narrow gravel road to get to his stand. I'm sure he misses some sales because it's not right along the road, but I'm sure it keeps people a little more honest. Renee says, what kind of scooter do you have? Well, I've got quite a few here. I've got a Harley Davidson Ultra Limited. I've got a Harley Softail Custom. I've got a 1971 FLH shovel head that I restored. I've got a Honda Rebel in here that is Valerie's bike that I kind of tore down and rebuilt to make it look like an old school bobber. It's got the wide white wall tires. Let me see. I don't know if I can turn you around here and show you real quick or not. Can't walk you around the room, but I can give you kind of an overview. Sorry for the shaky camera. But here's the Ultra. Softail's right over there. My cords are going to get unplugged. You can't see the shovel head, it's up front, and then the little Rebel is right there. So that's the motorcycles. I'm a big motorcycle guy. If you didn't know, that's what I retired from the state police. They paid me to ride a motorcycle every day. It's the best job in the world. And I retired from it, so that's a good thing. Joe said there's more guns out there than people. That's not how it is here in Maryland. Neighbor's cameras has their plates and face. He sent it to a cop. Well, good. I hope you figure out who stole from you, my friend, and get that at least some restitution and get your money for your work. Honda Ruckus. Mom and the Boys has 2 Honda Ruckuses. So those things, you can really make those things run. I've seen those down in Ocean City, Maryland when I'm down there. They ride them up and down Coastal Highway. And I think some of those people really dump a lot of money into those bikes, but they look pretty cool. Hey, there's Chuck and Deb. Iron and Oak Sawmill. I'm glad you made it, my friend. We were just talking. Somebody mentioned about having a Firewood Frenzy in Maryland, and I was telling them about the East Coast Firewood Frenzy idea that we all have and the problem of the venue. So hopefully some more people will jump on and maybe help us out trying to find a venue, and we can get this thing going maybe for next year. Rob Jackson says, where do you park your cars? They're all out in the driveway. Yeah, my wife kind of gives me a hard time about that, especially in the wintertime when it's snowing. So I always have to make sure I get her car cleaned off for her since she can't park in the garage.
Reagan just said hi from her and Andrew.
Hello, Reagan and Andrew. My niece Reagan and her fiance, Andrew. So she'll be getting married here soon. Congratulations to her. I'm glad you're here, Reagan. I hope everything's going well with you, Chris says he loves riding. He rides a 2005 VTX 1800. I've never ridden dirt bikes, Camping Creek, but my cousin, I don't know if he's in here tonight or not, Joe, he does motocross, and he goes out to a lot of the tracks and courses and rides a lot, has ridden for several years. Dirt bike is a whole different animal than a street bike. I did get on his dirt bike several years ago. I don't even know how long ago it's been. You were little.
Yeah, I don't think Brady was born yet.
Yeah, so it's probably been 10 or 12 years ago. I got on his dirt bike. I think it was a 450. And I didn't realize the torque that it had. When I let the clutch out and grabbed a handful of throttle, the dirt bike stood straight up on the back tire. And as I'm hanging on for dear life, all I did was wrench on the throttle even more and ended up just having to let go of the bike. It was pretty embarrassing, especially from I call myself a motorcycle guy, but a dirt bike is a whole different animal. Definitely not the same. Are you guys going to go to Hot Rod Weekend? I think Hot Rod Weekend was just this past week, or it's going on.
I think it's this weekend.
No, it was last weekend.
It wasn't that the
Spring Cruise Week. Spring Cruise Week, yeah, it was last weekend in Ocean City. I used to go to that every year because when I was still with the state police, we would go down there for extra
hours,
extra visual enforcement to let our presence be known on Coastal Highway in Ocean City while that was going on, to try to deter some of the craziness. But I tell you, a lot of those guys at Cruise Week and Hot Rod Week were very, very nice and very respectful. You know, they put a lot of time and money into those cars. And,
much better than H2O.
Yeah, much better than the other foreign car weekend down there. Yep. Yeah, they put some money in, but Coastal Highway, you can ride scooters and mopeds and stuff up and down. They have a bike lane for that. But yeah, those Honda Ruckuses are pretty neat little bikes. Pat says if it's an emergency need for firewood, just knock or leave a note. I would most likely have just given them the pine anyway. And I agree. if somebody is in desperate need, especially in the wintertime for firewood, and they need to keep their family warm, I would give people the shirt off my back in a time of need. I've spent my whole life pretty much in public service, and if I can help somebody out that has a true need, I think sometimes people just, I don't know. I can't figure it out. I've never understood thieves. Joe says to have the East Coast Firewood Frenzy in PA. I think PA would be a great spot. That's close to Maryland. It's close to New York. There's a lot of us, from Virginia to New York, I know, that are part of the YouTube community here that interact a lot. So Pennsylvania might be a good centralized place to do that. Old guy Firewood said he sold his last bike, a Road King Classic, in 2008. He misses it at times. Yeah, well, I've had motorcycles since I bought my first bike when I was a senior in high school. It was a 1981 Honda CB650. And I rode that bike every day to high school and had a motorcycle ever since then. I sold that, bought my first Harley in 2000. That was back when you had to order them, and I think I waited 13 or 14 months for that to be delivered. And then after that, I bought a 2004 Dyna Y-Glide, and then Taylor was born. And when Taylor was born, my wife decided that she didn't want to ride anymore because she was worried about our daughter not having a mother or a father if something tragic were to happen. And because she didn't want to ride, it kind of took a little bit of the fun out of it for me. And we ended up selling the bike. So for about a year and a half or 2 years, we didn't have a motorcycle. And the motorcycle was really a big part of my wife and I's relationship. We had a lot of good times going to Myrtle Beach and Ocean City for all the Bike Week events, and we really enjoyed that time. So when we sold the motorcycle, we didn't realize that we were actually cutting out part of the reason that we got together originally. So about 2 years later, she came to me one day and she said, "I kind of miss riding. We should get another bike." So right away, I was online, and I think it was a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks later, I had purchased another motorcycle, and we've had them ever since. So that's kind of the backstory. Might have went in a little too much detail there about that, but that was the story of the motorcycles. And she still likes to ride. We don't get as crazy or ride as much as we used to, but we still do enjoy to get out and go to dinner once in a while. We still go to Ocean City for Bike Week, ride with our friends, around town on the weekends when we can. There's Ben. Ben Scholes is in the house. He says, "Let's go, Brandon. Hello to you all." Yeah, we kind of had the gasoline talk earlier there, Ben. I'm glad you could join us tonight. Haven't seen you in a little bit, so hope everything's going well with you. WD30 says he likes the Corvette and Hot Rod weekends. I've never been down there for the Corvette weekend. I didn't know that was a separate week. I know they have Jeep Week down there too, the Ocean City Jeep Club or something.
Yeah, that was at the parade, the
Christmas parade. They were all there, yeah. Chris says that his wife and him went through the same thing when their first child was born, and I think that's a normal thought that you have, and it's as you get older, you think about it even more. Chuck says, "Did the chat freeze?" I hope not. I'm still seeing it here on my end.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of action in it.
Okay, there's not a lot of action in it, Taylor says. Robert says, "If somebody could give me an approximate size, I have a couple of friends with property." I think he's talking about the East Coast Firewood Frenzy. So Robert, where is the property located? I don't know if you're in Pennsylvania or not. But approximate size, I really don't know. A couple of acres maybe. It's going to be the first year, so I don't really know how big it'll be. I know Shibe was out to the Midwest Firewood Frenzy last year, so he might be able to give you a better idea on how much property that they have out there that they work in. So, yeah, Shibe, if you're still here, can you jump in and give them approximate size of what they use out there at Wolf Ridge? Wolf Ridge is where they hold the Midwest Firewood Frenzy, Wolf Ridge Manufacturing. So I know they cleared a lot of land out there on that property, but I'm not sure how much. All right, so every month on the Thirsty Thursday live stream, we give away a whiskey glass.
Yes.
Can you reach up there and grab one out of the case?
Yep.
And I've already got the question in mind for what it's going to be for the winner to win the whiskey glass tonight. Andy says 5 acres with parking, maybe 10 if large vendor shows up. Yeah, so if anybody has ideas of locations, it looks like we've got a couple people in here that might have some ideas for us tonight. Either email me or Shibe or even Chuck at Iron and Oak Sawmill. Send us a message, whatever, so we can try to get together, and maybe, because we all want to get together anyway to meet each other and talk and catch up with each other and see each other's operations, but we really want to get on this and try to organize something for next year. WD30 says he's not answering for this whiskey glass.
He is on a lot.
Yep. I think he has one, doesn't he? Yeah, he
has
does.
2.
Yeah, we sent him one because he got off last month, right?
Yeah.
Or the month before, I can't remember.
All right. What's your question?
All right, so the question for tonight for the Firewood at the Furnace whiskey glass, I don't know if you can see the engraving on that.
Put your hand maybe behind.
Maybe not. But it looks good once you get it in person.
You can show me yours.
The question for tonight is, we talked about me tripping at the end of this video yesterday, but on the week prior video, there was also a blooper at the end. So whoever can tell me first what the blooper was at the end of the video 2 weeks ago, you'll win the whiskey glass. So we'll watch the chat and see if anybody made it to the end of the video.
People are going back to watch it real quick.
Yeah, because normally at the end of the videos when I'm wrapping them up, I think people normally click off, but you had to wait until the very end to see that blooper. Jeremy Dirksen, that was a huge bee that flew by your head. He is correct. He's the only answer. And it's a correct one. So Jeremy, you're the winner. I'm glad you were able to stick around to the end of that video. I don't know what's been going on lately because the last few weeks, the views have really dropped off on the videos.
Well, I've noticed that on a lot of YouTube channels.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the time of year or, just the warmer weather. People are outside more and not sitting inside watching YouTube. And to be honest with you, I'm not watching as many videos on other channels as I normally do either. So I guess that's probably why. But congratulations, Jeremy. Did you write that down?
Yep.
You are the winner of the whiskey glass. Thank you for everyone chiming in. All right. Jeff said he can't remember what he did yesterday. Yeah, I think it's summer, too much daylight and sun, time of the year. I'm spending more time outside, and it's harder to keep up with all the videos. Yeah, I agree. I guess that's what it is. I was really hoping it wasn't, my content getting boring or not interesting anymore, because I do try to kind of work hard to switch that up and think about the videos before I make them. Christian says maybe too far east, but Hartville Hardware in Ohio is the biggest hardware in the U.S. Also, Wolf Ridge and Yappa Dealer would be interested in hosting. I'm good friends with the family who owns it. Well, Ohio is not that far away from me. And it sounds like that the people that we would want to be there are already there. at least some of them. So Christian, get in touch with me. Send me an email. My email address is firewood@thefurnace@gmail.com. If you're friends with the family who owns it, maybe mention it to them. Everything's still very, very preliminary. We have basically nothing in stone yet. We're just looking for some ideas and doing some research. So see if it would be something they might be interested in doing. Robert said he would like to get this to happen and meet most of us. I'm the same way. I really want to meet you all too. Yeah, Jeremy, I do remember you commented on that. I think you were one of the very few comments that I got on that, because when that video came out, I was kind of curious and watching to see how many people would mention that, and I think you were one of the only ones. Woodridge Creek Homestead says he doesn't watch much when he's outside, but he listens to everything. And I know people do that with a lot of the live streams too, like when they're driving, they'll turn it on and listen, but not watch. Outdoors in the 608 is here. He says, hello, everyone. He's way late. Well, better late than never, my friend. I'm glad you could join us, and hello to you. I hope all is well. Andrew and Samantha Madison are here tonight, and they say, how are the ticks your way, Brad? They're pretty bad in Warfordsburg, PA.
We found one on our dog.
We found one tick on our dog so far, and I found one tick on me so far. And that's part of the reason why I try to get the woodyard really cleaned up and the grass cut nice and short over at the woodyard this time of year, because when the grass gets tall and long and the weeds get high, it's a perfect climate for the ticks. Jeremy, I got your email there. Thank you, buddy. I'll be in touch with you and get that out to you this week. Jeff says the content is great. I appreciate that. I tell you, we were talking about yesterday's video. We were talking about that HYPA chain that they sent me to test out and review. And you know, I'm kind of on the fence with reviewing stuff, because I don't want my channel to become like, I don't want to seem like a sellout, like I'm only producing content to get free stuff. So a lot of times when people send me emails wanting to send me free stuff just to do a video on, I'm pretty selective about that. But I did think I needed an extra chain or two for that new saw, since it's different than any other chains I have. So I took them up on that offer, and you can watch the video and see what I said about it. But it's not horrible, but it's not something that I would buy. So I appreciate everybody who watched and commented on that video and told me that they appreciated my honesty and my keeping everything real.
Riley's watching. Riley Jones.
Hi, Riley Jones, my other niece, Reagan's sister. I'm glad you're here. But I'll like I said, I'll always try to keep everything honest and real with you. I had full intentions of using that saw and that chain and giving it a good review and trying to get some of you to support that company. But I mean, when I used it, I immediately knew that it wasn't something that I could in good faith promote. It's a good budget chain. I don't think it's a horrible chain, but if you want to buy something that you feel is, you get what you pay for, like I said in the video.
You got a super chat.
Oh gosh, I'm behind again.
From
I don't know how I got so far behind again. I'm way up there.
It went away. There it is. From Will Davidson. He said, anyone missing a bell, ring it.
Go ahead. You got to do it a couple times. WD-30, thank you, my friend. Anyone missing a bell, ring it. Cheers. Drink up. Eric says he's just getting home, evening all. Crazy May, end of school, etc. Taylor, how many days of school do you have left?
I think 9, because we end on June 10th.
I know she's been counting down, so she says 9 school days, right?
Yeah, 9 school days. And the last 3 days since I'm in 8th grade, we don't really do schoolwork because we have like our 8th grade graduation and stuff like that.
Chris says, great content. Keep it up. I look forward to your videos. I'm heading off to watch TV with your wife. Have a great night, Chris. I'm glad you could join us. And tell your wife the same. Go enjoy some TV with her. Albert says it's busy season for me being a landscaper. That and the NHL playoffs. I still catch most of the videos, but I haven't been prioritizing my video watching. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that it's not me. It's just the time of year. Ben says he still wants a set of 4 whiskey glasses. Well, Ben, just send me an email and I will hook you up, my friend. I am selling them, not just giving them away. So if anybody wants some, I think I just sent 2 of them out last week or the week before. Somebody ordered 2 of them. So the guy that's making them for me, he does them on my request. So when I get low on this case, I'll just order another case of them. Johnny Neville has been watching your videos late at night after the girls go to bed. Right now, he's stuck working on a trailer and can't be here, so howdy from all of us in Texas from the Neville family. Well, tell Johnny I said hello, and whatever's wrong with the trailer, I hope he fixes it up. He's a great subscriber and always comments and supports the channel right near the beginning that this thing started. So tell him I said hello, and I hope all is well. All right, so I'm trying to get caught back up. Bill says he's been super busy getting lots of tree service wood and saw logs for the mill. Well, that's great. Ralph Carnegie wants to know when Michelle's video is coming out. Michelle is leaving, actually, so I hope she caught that message. Like I said, I'm behind on the chat. She'll see quite a few of you all at the Frenzy. I'll be watching on YouTube. Jealous of all of you who are going. But so maybe some of you, when you get interviewed by Dan, can give Brad a shout out. That would be pretty cool. When Dan comes up to you and interviews you at the Firewood Frenzy, give me a shout out. Maybe I'll send you a whiskey glass if you do that.
Matthew Weimer's leaving.
Matt Weimer's leaving. Have a good night, buddy.
He said, have a good evening to you all. Brad, we need to all go out soon again.
We do. Have Stacy get a hold of Val or get a hold of me. Let's plan something. Friday nights, Friday evenings. I'm not really a late person, but Friday evenings for dinner are good. Get home in time to get on the Back 40 live stream by 9 here on the East Coast. But the kids don't have practice or anything on Friday evening, so that's a good day. Bill's going to order some glasses too. Awesome. John says he run fake cameras and a driveway buzzer. He always knows when somebody's in the wood stand. That's a good idea. Tooley's Woodshed is going to the Firewood Frenzy. It's only a 4-hour drive. Well, lucky you, because I think it's 17 or 18 hours for me. And with the price of fuel, that would be a tough. I think Shive's driving out this year. He flew last year, but he's going to make the drive this year because he asked me if I was going, and he asked me if I wanted to ride along with him, but I just can't make it work. Well, it's 9:02. We are into overtime. We've still got 72 people here watching. So it's up to you guys if you want to keep going. I do have, I want to show you this real quick.
I don't think I've seen that yet.
You haven't seen this yet?
Yeah.
So this isn't really for this time of year because it gets dark later. Like I can work at the wood yard until 8, 9 o'clock. But in the wintertime, when the time changes and it gets dark at 5 o'clock, I may have a use for this. And here pretty soon I'm going to be installing it. Anybody know what it is yet? You know what it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
I saw it at the box.
But this is an LED light bar, and I got 2 of them. And I'm going to put them on the skid loader,
Oh, Will Davidson got it. He guessed it.
Will Davidson is on top of stuff. I'm telling you, he is always right on it. But I'm going to be putting one of these on the front and the back of the skid loader. If you remember when I was restoring the skid loader, the lights were pretty jacked up. I mean, they were banged up, and I ended up just cutting them off and throwing them in the trash. So I knew eventually I wanted to get some new lights for the skid loader. So I got these, and I'm going to be installing these here pretty soon. And we might actually get some night action in the wood yard. So,
you have a question. Someone asked, how wide is the spacing between your rows in the wood yard?
what was it? I'm sorry.
How wide's the spacing between your rows in the wood yard?
Okay, so that's a good question because I actually am particular about that. It is 25 feet. And the reason it's 25 feet is because my truck is 8 foot wide. And I wanted to be able to have space because originally I was laying logs down the rows, down the empty rows, so that they would be in the same general area when I bucked them up is where I was going to split and stack them. So I wanted to be able to have room to lay logs on each side of the row, but still have room to back my truck inside the row. So it's 25 feet, which is pretty wide, but it's also helpful for when I'm backing my dump trailer in around the corner. You know, it's not too tight and I'm not running into anything. Albert says he has Blink cameras that he got off Amazon. They work pretty well for the cost and everything goes straight to his phone. Yeah, we have the Ring camera system here at the house. It works really well, and I think the Blink is pretty similar to that. Chuck says overtime no matter what, Taylor says. He remembers you scooted out early last month.
Yeah.
She was tired.
Early.
Robert's leaving. He says, good night, all. Outdoors in the 608 says, heck, I just got here. We'll stay for a few more minutes. Michael Stucker says, thanks for the great, consistent content. How wide is the spacing between you? Okay, so that's the question we just answered.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Michael. Yeah, Joe has a poor signal when the leaves are on the trees at his wood yard. So last year he was doing the premieres where he would record a video, and then if you set your I don't know how this works because I've never done it, but I think if you set your video up as a premiere, when it comes out, you can have chat live with people, you know, when the video is dropped. Don't quote me on that, but he did that last year, and that seemed to work out pretty well for him since he had a bad signal. Put one light on the front of the loader and send the other one to me for his tractor, Ben says. I'll have to see how these lights work out. They're supposed to be pretty bright, and I'm really curious to see how they work. They're the perfect width for the cage of the skid loader. So as soon as I have a free moment, those things are going to get hooked up. But I don't have too many of those free moments. John says he uses the same one on his cart boat. Let me know how you like it. Is it bright? Does it work well? How long have you had it hooked up? Has it lasted? Waterproof? All that good stuff. Tully's Woodshed said he needs to get out of the shop and back in the house. Have a great night. All right. I'm glad you were able to join us. Keep the wife happy and get back inside. Good night, my friend. I hope we can catch you again next month on the live stream. He said, WD-30 says, I would install one under the lip and the back one on top for the light bars. I don't know if I'll have room to put it on top because if you remember the skidder shack, I've only got about 4 or 5 inches of clearance pulling it in there. And there is room on the back of the cage with a little lip to put it there. But I'll look at that. I can always jack that skidder shack up and put it on another set of blocks if I needed a few more inches.
We have a question.
All right.
A couple questions. Are most firewood sellers raising their prices this year with the cost of everything everything else going up? Maybe cost and delivery going up?
Yeah, I don't think we have much of a choice. With the price of fuel, the price of oil, the price of chains, just everything that it takes to produce firewood, I don't think we have much of a choice but to raise prices. Me personally, my prices include free delivery up to 10 miles. I use my truck and my dump trailer to go get the wood, the logs, to bring them to the yard. I use my saws with fuel and oil to cut the logs. I use fuel to split them, and then I have to use fuel and with my truck and trailer to, again, deliver the wood. So my truck getting 10 or 12 miles to the gallon, and the price of fuel basically going up 50 or 60% since this time last year. I don't think they've left us much of a choice. And that, any kind of business, grocery stores, lumber stores, trucking, all that inflation gets passed down the line, and it ends up at the bottom at the customer. And when the customer stops buying it, that's finally when it starts trickling back up to try to change the whole inflation. And I think we're about at that point where the customer is starting to say no to a lot of the stuff. So I don't know where we're headed, and I'm not going to get into politics. I try not to get political, as you know, but something's going to have to give here at some point. I don't like to have to raise my prices, but I'm not doing this to break even. I've got to make a couple of dollars, and I think it's just got to happen. Old Guy Firewood says, "Isn't it amazing how you have no time to do things after you retire?" Yes and no. I think you're right. I am definitely busier now than I was when I worked, but everything that I do now, and as busy as I am, is exactly what I want to do. I'm doing so much, but I get to choose what I'm doing, and what I'm doing is exactly what I decided that I wanted to do that day. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, no. Samantha, Jeff says he's keeping his price at $4.50 a cord, but raising delivery. $4.50 a cord. I don't remember where you are, but that's definitely a lot more than we get here in Maryland. I'm raising my price to $300 a cord, and that includes delivery, which is an increase of $50 from last year's price.
Someone asked, how are you doing on filling row 4?
Row 4 is about 20 to 25% done. I'm really getting aggressive, as you know, on that pile of ash log that's been laying there that I bought last year. All that, when it's split, it's ready to go. I checked some of it 2 days ago, and it's all at like 16 to 18%. So I'm really going to try to get all that big pile of logs split and stacked, fill row 4 up, because that's all wood that I'm going to be able to sell right away. So my goal is, as you know, to get that last row filled by the end of June. And I'm still chasing that. Yeah, $4.50 a cord. Where are you located? Let us know, Jeff. Has anyone who does videos found a helmet mount for an iPhone? I have not. I've actually looked because, as you know, every time I'm bucking logs, I wear my helmet for the ear protection and the face screen. I don't really need a helmet because I'm not working in the woods where something could fall on my head, but I do like the face screen and the ear protection. So Taylor's looking it up now. They have a motorcycle helmet chin mount,
and they have a universal mount that like suction cups onto the top of your helmet.
Yeah, I don't know how that's for an iPhone. Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't work that well though with you being sweaty and stuff.
Yeah, I would definitely not want my phone to fall off my head and fall down where I'm using a chainsaw. But it would make for some good footage, so I might explore that. They make GoPro mounts, but I haven't really had good luck with a GoPro. We have one, but it freezes up a lot, and I really don't trust it.
You could use a chest mount.
Yeah, with chest mount, you would block a lot of that with your arms while you're cutting. Andy says his semi gets 7.6 miles per gallon. Anything over 450 a gallon with fuel surcharge, the company is getting paid to fuel. Yep, that's exactly what we're doing. So I'm the safety director part-time for my buddy's dump truck service. We have 40 dump trucks, and we have to adjust pricing every week based on fuel costs. As fuel goes up, our fuel surcharge goes up. We call our customers and let them know that the rates are changing. And you know, some of the customers have had no problem. They expect it to happen. But other customers have said, you know what, let's hold off. We'll wait and we'll do this job a little later. So eventually that's all going to come to a head. WD-30. Brad, do you want help with some splitting coming up? I have a couple of weekends free. Well, I don't have any weekends free. My only days off are Monday and Friday, and I work in the evenings during the week because the weekends I'm traveling with the kids, watching them play ball. So I appreciate that. I could definitely use some help, but I've got a lot of wood to split, but I'm not able to be there on the weekends. Bill says you can come to his house anytime you want. He'll take any help you want to give. Rod Bourne, top of the evening to everyone from Texas. Glad you could join us, Rod. We're kind of at the end of the night here, but hey, I'll raise a glass to you, Rod. I'm glad you were able to join us. How's everything going in Texas? I know that things were not good 2 days ago. I don't want to bring up a bad subject, but that was very, very sad what was going on in the news the other day. Innocent kids and teachers, and we got to do better. And that's another political topic that I'm not going to get into, but we definitely need to do better. Shab says he happens to be off on Fridays also. We should hook up for one. That sounds like a great idea. I don't know if you want me to come to you or if you want to come to me, but we should make that happen as long as the 500 eyes involved, because I got to get that in my hand. Tree service I work with they just bought 4 more saws, 4 more 500 eyes that he had on order. So he's got like 6 500 eyes now. I've had one in my hand, but I haven't ran one.
You know what you guys should do?
What?
You could have a Thirsty Thursday, and then if Shibe ever comes here, you could do another live on Friday, or move the Thirsty Thursday.
Or we could do a Thirsty Thursday with Shibe here, stay the night, and then Friday, well, I don't know. Me and Shibe get together. I'll keep him off the dark liquor, but if he has the Miller Lite, I don't know how much work we would get done on Friday.
Yeah,
so maybe you should just get up early on Friday morning and come down so we can get work done. I don't know. We'll talk about that, though. We should definitely do that. Trip rate versus contract. Trip rates change daily or faster. Contract rate, the fuel surcharge, is the only variable. Rod says, typical meeting night, late. We finally got some rain. And yes, sir, we need to take care of our kids. Bill says he's in Southwest PA. I'm always backed up. You would have to say 2 months. No work happening before noon on that Friday. That's what I'm afraid of. And then you lose half the day. Oh, gosh. Andrew and Samantha says you deserve a 500, Brad. Father's Day is coming up, Taylor.
Oh, I know.
Father's Day.
Yeah, I know.
That's like a $1,400 saw.
Oh, I'm not getting you that.
But Chaz, the owner of the tree service, gets them at a discounted rate. A couple $100 off, he told me.
You should go buy one from him.
Well, it's still a lot of money. But anyway, I think we're going to wrap it up for the night. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you for the moderators. Thank you to all the super chatters. I really do appreciate that. That helps out the channel tremendously, more than you know. And I want to thank Taylor for coming out here after her softball practice. She actually ate her dinner while she was helping me moderate and monitor the chat. So it was another great night, everybody. I appreciate you joining us, and thank you for being here and supporting the channel as always. We will see you on Wednesday. Don't forget the Back 40 live stream is tomorrow night. And don't forget to give me a shout out on the live stream at the Firewood Frenzy if you're there. And we will see you next time. Have a good night.
Bye.